And we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, this is a. As you can tell, there's not really much Lord of the Ringsy shit going on today. It all went a bit wrong earlier, so yeah, I apologise. We're actually going to do something even more fun. Well, I wouldn't say more fun, more comedy. I think is going to be the response of this one. So that's where we're at with this. But yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the first stream of the year, the first game of the year. We were meant to be playing the One Ring, but life happens. And so instead, I've just got a filter. I've still got a filter on my camera from the last one, so I'm very grey and pasty. Just noticed. Too much other stuff I was trying to do. Oh well. We're actually going to do something completely different today. Maybe completely different.
Maybe tangentially related.
Maybe tangentially, that word I can't say, related. Yeah, we're gonna play some game. We're gonna play a game that Ben is gonna run for us today.
Yep.
He has kindly volunteered to step in and run a game for us. As you can see, we have Ben and we have Tom here. Unfortunately, Fiona and Rob were unable to make it for various reasons, hence not doing the One Ring. But yeah, so I might as well just hand it over to you, Ben. You might as well get on and tell us what we're doing.
Hello, everyone. So tonight we're playing my specific pre-approved, pre-created The Kobold, a totally expected parody of a beloved book that has been expanded into a trilogy of movies and which inexplicably is not called There and Back Again Part 1 There. Which is a previous adventure for Kobolds Ate My Babies, because the guys at 9th level game have a sense of humour. So far, David and Tom have created most of their Kobold character. However, there's been a few things that we've skipped over, one of which is the incredibly important rule, which they will learn very quickly, which is whenever someone says, "All hail King Torg," they must respond by saying, "All hail King Torg." Because they didn't, they're both going to get a death check right now, first thing on camera, and roll to see if their characters die. Because that's what happens to kobolds, because their god, Vor, hates their guts. He also hates cowardice. So
All hail King Torg, did you say?
All hail King Torg. That's one.
All hail King Torg.
King Torg, ting. Ben, apparently you're super quiet.
Say it. Pardon?
Am I? So sorry, we've got someone in the chat saying Ben, you're super quiet. So maybe if I just turn the volume up there.
Yeah, try turning my gain up. I'll move a little bit closer to my mic, but I shouldn't need to move too much closer as standard.
No, I've just turned you up. So Tom, do you want to speak as well? See how loud that goes.
I can try this, yeah. I just want to tell you that I'm probably going to say it in German, and you can't tell me that I'm wrong.
That's fine. Vor also hates German, so I'm just going to give you a death check anyway.
So with that death check, are we taking the checks from our skills? So I've got.
Yeah. They count.
Cool.
So you should both be on 3 death checks now, I believe, because you both took dangerous skills for kobolds to learn, like dueling and being a sage.
Yep.
So every time the guys roll need to check to see if they die, they're going to roll 2d6 and add up the number of their current horrible death records. Anytime they get below 13, nothing happens. Anytime they get above 13, Vor strikes them down in some comedic way, which is my excuse to kill their character and make them restart. Because it's Kobolds Ate My Babies. Kobolds live short, unpleasant little lives. And yeah, so death check from David. What did you get?
So I rolled a 5.
Okay.
And
so
I've got.
You're fine.
Yeah, and I got 2 checks because I took Sage and Trade, which are my dangerous skills. So 5, 6, 7. That is definitely under 13. I can do math.
And then you need to do another one because you just got your 3rd one for not saying "All hail King Torg."
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
There is no game currently available on the market that trains players in Pavlovian response quite as good as Kobolds Ate My Baby.
I don't know. Paranoia does quite well at that as well.
Yes, to an extent. But you know anyone that's played Kobolds Ate My Baby, because if you say All Hail King Torg in a room of nerds, that's a death check for both of you, they will scream it.
You were in the middle of the
All Hail King Torg.
You shouted out.
Oh no! I'm in my third drink.
So for people who don't know, Kobolds Ate My Baby is a beer and pretzels game. It's designed to be run at convention centers whilst people are drunk, in hotel rooms. It is a silly game for silly people, which is why we're playing it tonight, because we are the silly people who, are still here.
Yep. So I'm going to I may occasionally just keep talking randomly just to check the volume.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
But for some reason, my mic is being really loud, which is really odd because my mic is usually not very loud, and everybody else is usually
really loud.
Yeah. So I don't quite know what's going on at the moment. I apologise to Super Angry Shrimp. You're not shrimp. Yeah, Super Angry Shrimp for blowing your eardrums out just then. Apparently, all hail King Thorg.
All hail King Torg.
Rätsel für König Torg.
Death check.
Why?
I told you, Vor hates Germans.
I hate you too. 10!
You're fine, but you're getting closer.
I'm getting closer, yes.
So, having now given my players a bunch of death checks by saying the certain name of a certain king, we're going to go on to edges and bogeys. Edges and bogeys are the inborn talents that kobolds are born with, or deficiencies in the case of bogeys. Edges being the good qualities with a plus sign, bogeys not so much with a minus sign. There are 2 edges and 2 bogeys that are part of every kobold's nature. In addition to these, we're going to roll once on the random edge and the random bogey chart. I can call upon your bogeys at any time to make awful things happen to you. If, for example, you are in heat, which is a bogey, you may go crazy when you enter a bar. Likewise, the mayor could stop you doing something against your nature. For example, because all kobolds are fearless, you would never run away from a dragon out of fear. You would only run towards it. Because clearly, that thing is big and delicious. So, all kobolds come into the world with the following edges and bogeys. Bark like a kobold. This is a edge. At any point, you can decide that you can bark, growl, or generally act like a kobold to receive a bonus dice to the roll. Be warned, however, that each time you use this edge, you must be louder and more kobold-like than the last player that successfully barked, and I have final say as to whether or not it was good enough. So that's the first one. Then you have kobold senses. So for human senses, the sense of smell strongly informs the sense of taste, but kobolds don't have noses, merely nostrils. So for you, the inverse is true. Your sense of taste is so refined that you can actually taste the smell of things. In addition, your eyes are so accustomed to living and hunting in deep, dark caves that you can see as well in near total blackness as you can in the light, mostly through echo taste location. Then we have your bogeys, which are fearless. Have you ever stopped and wondered why a pack of measly, weak little kobolds will attack a party full armed and armored with warriors and wizards and fireball-chucking bards? The answer for that is that kobolds no longer have an idea of self-preservation. Vor bred that out of you by blowing you up with red lightning every time you showed any sign of it. Anytime you act in a way that the other party members or myself believe is not kobold, Vor himself will strike you down because he hates cowards. You basically get a death check anytime you do something unkoboldly or fearful. and tastes like kobold. While any kobold is extremely tasty a la carte, you are simply irresistible when prepared correctly. Should you become wounded, all critters except humans and other civilized races must make a 1-die ego roll. If they fail, the desire to eat you becomes overpowering, and you have to somehow justify getting away from them because they will try and eat your face. Right then, let's have your first d6, lovely people. So you're just going to roll a d6, and this is going to give you your random edge.
Nice.
1 for David, which is animal chum. Ever since you were a little pup, you've had a special way with animals. For some reason, they've always seemed to like you. Animals will not attack you unless you specifically threaten them. And 5, that is troll blood. One of your ancestors was into some seriously kinky stuff, and you are reaping the benefits. You have the wondrous ability to quickly regenerate damage. If you spend 1 turn licking your wounds and doing nothing else, you regain 2 hits. This power is in your genes, not your tongue. You only gain the benefits from licking your own wounds. You cannot lick your friends to heal them. So you can lick them, but you can't lick your friend's genes to make him heal. And then we need 1 more d6 from you both for your random bogey. A 3 and a 5. Okay, so for 3, we've got foul smelling. You've really never taken the concept of bathing to heart. You... Such a putrid cloud clings to you that anything in your map square will notice the odor and will probably come looking to bury the pile of dung. And then you've got 5, Tom. In heat, you're facing some big changes in your life this year, and dogs have begun to notice. If you ever encounter a dog, it will follow you around until
You leave my friends alone.
Every time you encounter an adult human, or anything with a leg as big as your body, you must attempt to make an ego roll, difficulty equal to the target's luck, or attempt to hump he, her, its leg. Each turn spent humping reduces the ego roll by 1 die, but the roll but the roll to stop may be retried every turn.
What again?
Every time you meet a dog, it will attempt to hunt you and herd you to a secret place to hump you. Each time you encounter an adult human or anything with a leg as big as your body, and kobolds, for the record, are about 2 to 3 feet tall, you must make an ego roll, difficulty equal to the target's luck, because let's face it, lucky people are more likely to get lucky.
May I kindly ask to re-roll this? I'm not feeling comfortable with this.
Of course you can. Let's roll another d6.
Thank you. It's a 2.
Flammable.
That sounds amazing.
Spending a bit too many hours around the cooking fire has coated your pelt with a fine, flammable combination of soot and grease. Anytime you come into contact with anything that could spark a fire, you ignite, taking 2 damage per turn until you spend a turn to stop, drop, and roll yourself out.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Sorry, I'm just setting things up, see if I can actually hear things.
Okay.
Remind me what Animal Chum does again?
You can basically, animals won't try and eat you, which is really good if you're dealing with chickens, which notoriously hate kobolds.
That seems to be. Yeah, I'm happy with that sound. So I'm having to log in multiple places, which is a bit weird. I really need headphones for this. I do apologise, everybody who is watching. I'm just really slack and cheap because I'm a student. But yeah, cool. Yeah, so Tom, you can get caught on fire. I like that, and I smell bad.
Very easily. It will smell awful, apparently. Yeah.
I'm in good smelling company then.
Okay, and then we have a bit of a what's Sage? Sage and the ego. Is Sage the one that gives you magic, or is that? I think that's Lackey. Okay, so a little knowledge is dangerous, and since kobolds are already little and dangerous, this is like an accident waiting to happen. As a sage, you know about stuff like medicine or show tunes or whatever, and can use this skill to ask the mayor any question about it, no matter what question is asked. I need only respond with a yes or a no.
So if I ask you all about hailing King Vor,
All hail King Thor.
Both of you going to take a death check because that was wrong. It's
Damn it.
King Torg.
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 Because I was hearing Vor at one point.
Vor is the god. Vor is the big red angry god that hates your faces.
Of course. Because why not? I'm at an 8.
I'm at a 12. As in, I rolled a 10 plus 2 gives me a 12. So, not I rolled a 12 and plus 2 fucks me. No, not that bad.
That's what your skill does there. And then the last little things to do, because we don't need to worry about magic because no one has Lackey, is gear. Kobolds lack the intelligence enough to make their own equipment, and also you can really only carry things in your paws. So, yeah. You're going to, you can only ever carry 2 items at once, one in your right paw and one in your wrong paw. This means that if you're already holding 2 items, you need to drop one of them in order to pick something new up, like a baby. If you're caught carrying more than 2 items, you must immediately take a Kobold Horrible Death check and drop an item of the mayor's choice, like a baby. Most things
kick the baby.
No.
I take the ring.
Eat the baby.
Can I eat the ring?
You can eat the ring, yes.
Yes.
Most things that a kobold could carry around are considered items. Some items have edges and bogies, which I described. To start, you're going to roll once.
You can't. I've just noticed. You can't actually. So this on the screen, if everyone's looking at the actual Twitch stream, there used to be a kobold in the border, but it's not there anymore. I've only got Krampus and Humphrey Bogart. The kobold has disappeared. I've just realised.
It's because you're playing him.
Yes.
Right, so to start your equipment, you're going to roll a d6 once for your armor, weapon, and gear chart and record what you're going to get. So, 1d6 for your basic random armor.
I rolled a 6.
1, you have a small shield that gives you armor 4, but it has the special of item, which I believe means, let's check that one. Item. Unlike other armor, this counts as an item, so it's taking up one of your hands.
Right.
And 6, diddly squat.
What?
You're naked. You have nothing at all.
At least you're not flammable.
I'm not flammable because there's nothing to catch fire to. Maybe I smell so bad that the armor just dissolved off me.
Yeah. Leather armor, so cold, because in your case, it has melted off you. Let's have another d6 for your random weapon charts.
2,
which is a kitchen knife, which is +2 and has the bogey of razor. And that is a 3, which is the hammer, which has a damage of 1, but is useful. Let's have a look at those things there. So we have Razor. This thing has been sharpened to a razor's edge, and it is just looking for an excuse to draw blood. Whenever you take a kobold death check, you also take 1 damage.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
Useful. This item gives a bonus dice to all dungeon, trap, and tinker rolls.
Yes! Yes, I have trap and tinker.
I am
And then
so
we
going to
have-
just end up killing myself.
Yep. That's the way that kobolds go. Just like paranoia. And then we've got the basic gear chart. So roll a d6.
4.
I guess I have already both hands full, so
You still roll. You just need to choose what you carry. Oh, both of you got 4, which is the basic gear chart of rope, 25 feet, made of hemp.
It is wrapped around my body like armor.
I'll allow it, but you're going to take a death check for it.
It's alright, I got 5, but I take 1 point of damage.
You do take 1 point of damage, and additionally, you're now on what? How many death checks have you got?
I think that's about 7.
So for everyone watching at home, you can begin to understand that this game is not going to last long in terms of, well, these kobolds are not going to last long, and that's intentional.
great.
So, yeah. Entire sections of some role-playing games are devoted to explaining the subtle nuances of rounds, turns, and timings. In Kobold Ate My Baby, there are simply turns. It's your turn, you get to do something. Turns are of an unknown quantity of time during which a kobold can attempt any number of activities. However, each action beyond the first increases the difficulty of all the actions you're attempting to do in that turn. The snack order. The kobold with the highest extraneous score should sit to my left. So in this case, it's not going to happen because it's over the thing. Anytime there's a tie, we come up with an interesting way to resolve it. Things like trying rock, paper, scissors, mud wrestling, or a dance competition.
I like the idea of mud wrestling over the internet.
Yeah, me too. Basically, play begins with the person to my left and carries around the table. That's it. Unless you have something that says otherwise. And on your turn, you can basically do whatever you want, but it generally revolves around telling me what you want to do with either a skill or a stat / backing something up. It's as simple as that. So yes, within this very specific version of this game, there are 2 special house rules for the kobold, and I'm not going to attempt to say the elvish name for this, but a totally expected parody of a beloved book that has been expanded into a trilogy of movies, which inexplicably is not called There and Back Again Part 1 there. There are 2 special house rules. The Now We're Cooking rule. The difficulty of all cook rolls in the kobold kitchen is equal to the number of unique ingredients combined. So combining bread, chicken, and cheese would be a 3-die roll. As true gourmands, kobolds would never think to pad a recipe by using fillers. Each item in a recipe needs to be unique. The higher the difficulty of the cook roll, the more satisfying the food item will be, which will come up in a few minutes. And the You Don't Know Jack R.R. Tolkien rule. Whenever a player attempts to use your vast knowledge of all things Tolkien-esque, things that a kobold would never and could never know, you get a check on the Kobold Horrible Death record. Unless the reference uses the word legendarium. At which point, I just kill you outright.
How does that work with Sage?
Exactly.
Also, on a rules question, how many hit points do we have?
It's equal to your brawn.
Oh crap! So just so everyone who's watching is aware, I have 4 brawn, and I already have 1 damage.
Your armor does take hits off as well.
I don't have any armor. I'm naked.
Oh,
remember?
yeah!
You got a rope. Isn't it like 25 feet or 25 brawn long?
25 foot of rope, so it's wrapped around, so you'd be about 1 foot. It's wrapped around you 25 times.
So
Sounds
I'm just a
like...
very fat kobold at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the story started.
We will begin with the story.
I'm expecting to last all of about 15 minutes at the moment.
It seems about right. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or eat it. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. This story is not about that hole. This story is about kobolds.
Yes!
And specifically, a cave. Not a pleasant, clean, dry cave filled with freshly strewn heather and an earthy smell, nor yet a moist, ichor-filled, fetid pit with nothing to eat and nowhere to cook.
No.
So the proper type of cave, then, a real cave,
This is a real cave. This is a kobold cave.
and it
There
smells
isn't a
just
proper
like
door.
me.
Its oblong mouth gaped open between two granite boulders that are speckled with olive-hued lichen, which, interestingly, as a point of reference, is the only thing that kobolds will not eat. There is no welcome mat. Kobolds, as a rule, are not very fond of visitors. To be fair, you would also disapprove of visitors if the only people that came to your door were heavily armed, low-level adventurers who just popped in to grind some XPs. And kobold researchers are still trying to work out what an XP is because it sounds delicious, but everyone seems so excited by them as well. King Torg.
All hail King
Death
Torg.
checks!
Ah, no.
Didn't say all hail King.
No, but
Thor.
I did. And so did you,
David
Tom.
did.
I hate you.
So does
claims
it?
to have
So
been-
just because I was
Yeah.
pissing around with volume and things when you were saying this, it's only when you say it that we have to say it. It's not if I say it.
It's any time anyone says that name.
That name, not the
That
phrase.
name. It's just the name of the king. So if you say king followed by the king's name, the response phrase is all hail that name. But everyone has to say it, including the person that said the name in the first place.
So you just said the name. I said the phrase. Tom said the phrase. You didn't say the phrase. So you're the one who's taking the death check.
Yes!
I'm the mayor, and that's not very koboldy. Take a death check.
No. I'm fearless. I won't take it. Rebellion!
Oh yeah. Here's another one. All hail King Torg. What if the chat says it?
We're ignoring the chat. They are the voices on the wind.
But just in case, we totally would have hailed
Actually,
King
you
Torg.
know what? I say
All hail King Torg.
all hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
You only have to say it once. There is no infinite feedback loop of this. If chat wants to donate money to make the players say it, I'm fine with that, though.
We'll set that up one day
Yeah, one day.
when we have more than one person watching.
And a brace to the burliest kobolds are stationed just outside the entrance to discourage anyone from returning without appropriate tribute. Kobolds are free to leave the cave whenever you wish.
Hang on. I think I might already be dead. Every time I have to take a death check, I take 1 damage because of the knife, yes?
Yep.
Yeah, I've just made 2 death checks. Actually, I've only got 1 damage point left. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah. As a point of reference, you can also just not hold the knife anymore.
Why?
Why would I do that?
I'm just making. Hey, I'm here to facilitate your story. That's all I'm here to do. Kobolds are free to leave the cave whenever they wish. However, one does not simply walk into the caves without a contribution to the pantry.
It is in sword, or an axe, or a bow.
Food, pantry.
Oh, okay.
I've got some mushrooms. They're growing under my armpit. I pick them off.
That's fine. You're very edible. You're basting in your own juices at this point. Um, the mouth. Oh my god! Actually, we're going to start. This is going to be hilarious because you're wounded and you're delicious.
Why am I delicious?
All kobolds are delicious.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The mouth opens into an uneven gash of a tunnel that is filled with jagged edges and sharp turns. A very uncomfortable tunnel, which is constantly filled with smoke from the kitchens, bones picked clean of meat, cores of apples, and refuse from other quickly eaten meals. We are going to wind down through all these to where a very tall, balding wizard with a large hooked nose, a ridiculously fluffy mustache, pointed beard, and a crooked smile enters the throne room. My good King Torg,
All
Hail King Torg!
chirps the wizard. How great it is to see you. Tabriz, returns the king. Tabriz the Black. Italicized the wizard, who was indeed wearing black robes. Don't you always wear black robes? Questions the king. First off, sometimes they have red highlights. Second, it's important for the setup later, whines the wizard. Hail Tabriz Black, corrected the king, shaking his head. Today was going to suck. The wizard launched into a 3-page exposition of what had brought him to the cave, during which Torg nodded off a few times, but got the gist
All
that
hail
Tabriz,
King Torg.
only when I say King Torg.
You said the name earlier. Fuck's sake, I'm
No,
dead.
King by followed the name.
King followed by name.
You're going to make me roll another one.
Now, we'll let you all. We're trying to be correct.
I'm just trying to get into his good books. I need some
I can
survivability.
I can tell. Have 2 victory points just because. They mean literally nothing, but have them anyway.
Same as XPs.
Yeah, exactly. The basic gist is that Tabriz thought it would be a grand idea to go piss off a dragon, which had been ravaging the countryside for generations. His brilliant plan was to lead a small group into the dragon's lair in an old abandoned city under the very lonely mountain. Make off with the treasure, and as the kobolds were compliant, fearless, and on his way, Tabriz felt it would be perfect travelling companions for this unexpected, to the kobolds, journey. A number of objections has sprung to King Torg's mind.
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
First, the very lonely mountain is weeks away, and the trip is fraught with innumerable perils. Second, being at the low end of the evil monster dice spectrum, the kobolds would deal with all the wargs, dire wargs, wags, dire wags, goblins, stone trolls, and storm giants, who all enjoy making kobolds' miserable lives a little more miserable. Third, Tabriz didn't even consider the end of the journey, a city that was abandoned because a dragon had moved in. A city that had therefore been known as impenetrable and chock-a-block with deadly traps. Kobolds are fearless, but in no way did this sound like a good idea. Worse yet, there wasn't any decent restaurants along the entire route. At this point, Kobold King and Arch-Evil Warlock broke out pipes and began to smoke. They will continue to puff on the pipes for the rest of this adventure. Constantly. Like every time they get a chance. They are stoking a new pipe. Really. This whole thing just got PG-13 for tobacco use. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg!
Was really trying to explain why not to use kobolds while lighting another pipe. Tabriz, however, would not be dissuaded by any arguments involving kobold preservation or gastronomic difficulty. Torg jostled his tiny brain looking for any excuse to extricate kobolds from this amazingly stupid and boring trick. And then a torch was lit. Although brave, kobolds are rather small with minuscule carrying capacities. It would take like 80 trips back and forth to clear out the caves with the handful of kobolds that might survive the journey. This gave Tabriz pause. He definitely didn't want to walk back and forth that many times. The king called for a rules lawyer and had him hit the books while he smoked thoughtfully for a few minutes, chewing on his pipe, which he then just ate, as was his way. The rules lawyer looked up from his tomes. When you cross-reference the carrying capacity with monster level, I think the best bang for buck would be an orc. Orc? Mulled to Briz, emphasizing a C thoughtfully. No, not that. Wouldn't want to be too spot on. Orc, O-R-K, will do. They're right in your wheelhouse, strong as a bull, and none too smart. Definitely orc, O-R-Q, continued the king. The best part about it is that there's a village full of them right on the other side of the mountain. Yes, orc, agreed to Briz, O-R-T-C. Orc would be perfect. Thanks for the smoke, talky old chum. Think I'm going to gather me up some orcs for this expedition. With that, Tabriz gathered his robes about him, swept from the chamber just as mysteriously as he had entered, and then he popped his head back for a minute, blew some angry smoke rings, dimmed the lights, and then mysteriously spit. Preserving the aura of ambiguous confusion completely, he was sure to obliterate the replacement guards on his way out, and then set off in the direction of the orc village. Torg smiled his toothy grin and patted his burbling stomach. He was pretty proud of himself. He had survived the visit with Tabriz, and the only casualty was pre-lunch. His luck, however, was not to hold. Some days later, he would receive terrible news. Tabriz the Black and 7 orcs, O-R-Q, who had agreed to follow the Kukior wizard on this fool's crusade, were heading back to the cave. Having used his one great idea to get rid of Tabriz in the first place, Torg fell back on a bad idea he'd been holding in reserve and ordered all of the kobolds to hide and pretend no one was home. As one expects, this plan has worked poorly. After a good deal of waiting, King Torg,
all hail King Torg,
All hail King Torg!
you're learning, decided Tabriz wasn't going to give up and leave, and that someone was going to have to go out there and get rid of him. So he did what all great leaders do when faced with an untenable situation. He delegated. You have been delegated. Burly guards, well, burly for kobolds, have grabbed you by your delegation and pushed you quite forcibly through the secret door into the kitchen. As the portal seals behind you, King Torg,
All hail King
all hail
Torg!
King Torg.
offers you these inspiring words. If you can get rid of that goofy spell chucker Tabriz, Black, and the 7 orcs, there's a baby in it for you.
Ooh,
But I
baby.
mean,
Ooh, yum, lunch.
if you fail, be careful what you say. Remember this, Tabriz can only kill you once, which isn't technically true because Tabriz is known to dabble in necromancy. But if you were to mention this secret room, things will go much, much worse as you are slowly devoured over 1,000 years. Because little known fact, baby sarlaccs are nearly as delicious and rare as baby asteroid slug.
Wait, what?
Breaking the fourth wall.
All the walls. His massive stomach gurgles and he flashes you a toothy grin as the door slams shut. You find yourself in the kitchen staring at a blank wall.
Could do with the paint in that wall.
It is a blank wall.
Great. I was probably distracted by the mentioning of babies. What again was our task?
I think we stay here and
Yes.
nobody eats us.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I think there was something about the wizard. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if we stay here
Yeah.
in this room and lock the door,
Yeah.
nobody will see us. And then we're fine and everybody else, well, they're distractions.
That sounds suspiciously like cowardice to me.
Oh, I didn't take coward, did I? No, shit. I thought I'd taken coward, sorry.
And Vor hates cowards.
I think we could manage to set off a giant cook-off.
I think we could. I can sneak around and steal us some other things so we can have multiple dishes. We all know our wizards like smoking, and I think we can cook some of them to smoke.
Oh, yes. We could make like the best smoked
chicken.
Chicken. Yes.
Sure, you can smoke chicken.
Yes.
I've seen King Torg put all sorts of things in that.
All hail King Torg.
I've seen him put all sorts into his pipe. So I'm sure the wizard would like a smoked chicken.
Maybe we could smoke an Q-tip.
If you can find one.
I think he brings 7 of them or something like this.
Oh, those things. If you want to try and get one of those things into our oven, we might need to make them a bit smaller, or the oven a bit bigger, because like they're really big, and our oven is like not very.
We do have a big pod. Like a very big pod.
Ah, orc with a Q soup. Ooh, now there's a thing.
And smoky chicken.
Yeah, as a side dish in the pipe.
I've no idea what we do want from the wizard, but I really like this cooking idea.
I like this cooking idea as well. And I've got these mushrooms as well as another side dish. Don't want to mix the flavours, you see. But these mushrooms, whoa, man, they get you. Ooh, they'll fill you up. I've seen people see taste and hear colours when they've had these mushrooms. It's a good night.
It's a kobold night. Great.
Music
What a night.
Where
So can we
maybe
have a
we
look
can-
around this room, see if there's any ingredients in the room?
Okay, yeah. Having turned around and stopped looking at the completely blank wall, this is the holiest of holies in the cave. From a very young age, all kobold pups are brought here to share in its magnificence. The slow, the stupid, and those unable to wriggle like a demon never leave. But those who survive come to love the hallowed cooking appliance and the sight that produces the most delicious things imaginable. Counters line the room with every modern cooking appliance imaginable, and when it comes to cooking, kobolds have a very vivid imagination. There is a large table at the center covered in some hastily abandoned leftover food items. Across the room is a well-tended cook fire and oven. There are a number of cabinets where foodstuffs are stored, and a closed, shiny steel door to the cold larder where the freshest meat is stored.
Ooh.
sounds nice.
I'm going to go and pick up some of this uneaten food and eat some of the food, because why would you waste good food? Why would you leave it there? Why would you not eat it?
Totally reasonable. Totally reasonable. What I'm going to get you to do is going to get you to roll me a luck roll. It's going to be difficulty 3.
So
You're
3
rolling
dice.
3 dice and trying to get underneath your luck.
Underneath my luck.
Well, underneath the stat that luck comes up, I always forget. Extraneous.
Extraneous. Okay, because I was going to say roll 3 dice and get under 2. So, what do the numbers under meat, cunning, luck, and agility mean then? So if I'm rolling under 7 on 3 dice, well, that I get, but what do the numbers under the other ones do?
So cunning is the difficulty for your trickster's rolls.
Yeah, that's it.
To trick other people. Luck is the difficulty for your roll when deciding how lucky you are. And agility is... So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Is it equal to and under, or is it under?
Equal or under.
Thank God for that. I got a 7.
Okay. So you're... yeah, you're not gambling or anything like that. That's fine. You begin scarfing, and you just, full on kobold moment, just grabbing and shoveling. And you stop yourself as you realize that you are eating your ingredients. The benefit here is that you are going to regain 2 points of your health because you have eaten a ton of food and you're feeling very good. The downside is your cook-off idea is going to be 1 dice harder because you've just eaten a ton of your potential ingredients. You do still, however, have the cupboards and the larder.
I don't think we're going to be able to do the chicken. But I still think there's enough in the larder to do some other stuff. We've still got those mushrooms, and we can still go get an orc if we want to get an orc with a Q.
I really like to have an orc with a Q.
I've never eaten orc, and it sounds like a good meat. Now, how do we go about getting one? Because there's a lot of them, they're big, and they're with that guy with a pointy nose, who we've got to do something with, but I've forgotten what it is. Maybe we cooked a wizard. Mate, I've never tried wizard. Have you tried wizard? Might be tasty.
I've never tried wizard.
They
might.
what sparkles taste like.
I've no idea, but it must be so beautiful.
Yeah. So we've got 2 new dishes we could have on the menu tonight. We could have an orc with a Q and a wizard. Right.
And it would be like, hey, we invite you to a cook-off. What do you prepare? Oh, surprise! Main course is wizard!
Surprise, surprise! It's your own personal cook-off! Because we're cooking you! There's your prize! You win! Yeah! And all the whistles and things go off, and then someone hits them around the back of the head.
That's great. I think Jörg ate the cannon for all the flying paper stuffies, but it just would look amazing.
I know. Right. Shall we make this place look like it should be a TV not a TV show, those things don't exist. Like it should be a party in here, and get them all coming in, all sat down, and then I will present everything because I'm quite flamboyant like that. And then you, because you like smacking things, you can hit them over the back of the head, and so then we can cook them that way.
David, what's your kobold called?
What's his name? Jackie Daytona.
Jackie Daytona, you have the sage ability.
Yes.
A thought occurs to you here.
Oh,
this is the holiest of holies. Inviting them into here may not go down well with King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
Right, better idea. Not in here because you might mess it up, and some people might not like that. And obviously we've got to keep the place clean, and it's all for the. We do a competition elsewhere. We maybe make them line up outside one by one, so we only have to deal with one at a time, kind of like a job interview kind of thing. They come in, I interview them. Well, they're distracted. You bosh them on the head. We stick them in a corner, hide them, do it with all of them, and we've got all of them. We've got loads of food, feed the entire cave.
You know what's... You can smoke them more easily if they're stacked.
Yeah, that's why we put them in the corner. Knock one out, put it in the corner, get another one, knock it out, put it on top of the other one in the corner.
Tom, what's your kobold's name?
Log.
It's as you're saying
Jackie
this,
Daytona.
Log. I'd like you to make me a... It's going to be an extraneous roll. Is that correct?
I can cook.
That's cute. Make me an extraneous roll. You're looking for it's a one dice check.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. It's as you're saying all this that you notice that on the back of the door, the portal door that is sealed behind you, that there is a menu. It says critters on the menu: turkey, chicken, jumbo shrimp.
Okay.
So it says.
Great.
Do we know what orcs like to eat?
Mushrooms. Do they like mushrooms? I don't know if they like mushrooms.
No. Can I use my sage ability and ask the mayor, what do orcs with a Q like to eat?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Sorry, it's a yes-no question, isn't it? Sorry. Read the rules. Look, we know that orcs with a Q like to eat the word yes. We write it on a piece of paper in poison ink. That'll be brilliant. They'll fucking fall over dead for us. Wizards apparently like the word no.
I'm gonna run towards the sacred book of cooking. I'm gonna look through the pages until I find a section which mentions the word yes and one that mentions the word no. Then I very carefully cut them out, and then I gonna spice them with the evilest pepper that we have in our possession.
Look, you do realise you've just cut up the religious textbook.
This is too beautiful. So, Log, as you run over to the sacred recipe book, begin to leaf through this mighty tome, this tome that normally takes 2 to 3 kobolds to lift and open the actual book of. Thankfully, in such a hurry was everyone to escape and hide that they have left it open to a page marked Shishimi. Some flicking through, you manage to get to yes. So before that, let's have a brawn roll from you. Difficulty 3. There is no downside to failing this. It's just how badly things can go for you necessarily.
Very badly.
Did you fail?
Yes, I have a 13 over 7.
That's great. So you did roll the lucky number 13, which in this case does nothing for you. The downside of this is you failed the skill check. And guess what? That means you get a death check.
Yes, I am on my 1 bazillionth death check.
What number are you now on?
I die on a 7.
Okay, roll 2d6. Don't get a 7.
It is a 5 and a 1.
I almost got you.
It's a squeaky bum moment.
Ooh, ooh. Log, do you have the sage ability?
No.
No. Okay. So, as you do not have the sage ability, you cannot read.
Yes.
So instead, you begin scuttling through this book, and you only know vague images. You do not know what the image yes looks for, so we're going to have a look roll. Because you were willing to cut this book up, this truly sacred book to you all, I'm going to make this a 2 dice difficulty. If you fail this roll, you will not take a death check, but you will cut up the sacred book to make this recipe.
Yes.
You're doing a look roll here. So you need to roll your luck on 2 dice.
Is it?
Because you are doing pure luck.
Is that right? Because that means some of these we will never actually be able to pass.
This is gambling. This does not happen every time. This is because, as far as I'm concerned, Log is quite literally gambling with his life right now.
Oh no, he really is. If this fucks up, or no, if this goes well, he's going to get into a lot of trouble.
He could kill a wizard, though.
Could kill himself.
I got the magic number of 7.
What's your luck?
2.
So that's a fail. So you just sort of like leafing through, and you stop because this one is mostly pictographs. And you know that you need baby, because clearly baby is involved in whatever yes is. Baby is the most delicious of all things. You also know you need something salty, something sweet, and you need something minerally. You have the cold larder, and you have the cupboards, and you have the entire rest of this thing. But to make yes and to make no, you need those following recipes.
Is Lorg actually doing any damage to the book at this precise moment in time?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to sneak up behind Log. No, I'm not going to sneak up behind Log. Screw that. I'm going to run full bodily at Log and wrestle him to the ground and try and put him in my mouth. Because
you have the wrestle skill.
I do have the wrestle skill. Because he is damaging the sacred book.
Has damaged
the sacred book.
You can't take this from me.
I don't want to take it from you. You have damaged it.
Worse than that, you can see that, that Lorg has specifically damaged, because you have the sage ability, which means you can read. You can see that Lorg has specifically damaged a recipe that, as he has sort of like torn out, says King Torg's birthday.
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
King Torg's birthday.
All hail King Torg.
It's not an infinite feedback loop. You've said it once, you're okay.
Yeah, but you said the name twice, but not in the sentence.
The name of the king, birthday bonanza surprise.
I want to try and I'm going to throw everything I can at him to wrestle him to the ground and.
No, he's already torn this page out of the book. That is done. He failed that roll. That has happened.
Yeah, no, I'm really, 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 really upset with him now, and I am desperately trying to eat him.
Oh, you just want to eat him?
Yeah. So wrestle. I'm good at grabbing other living things and slamming them to the ground, usually with some flair. The difficulty of this action is equal to the agility of the target. After a successful wrestling takedown of anything that is at least slightly smaller than your head, you can spend one action to stuff it in your mouth. I don't care whether it's smaller than my head. I'm going to try and eat him. I know he's the same size as me, but I'm seeing red. You've damaged the book. You damaged the sacred book. So what is your agility, Tom?
1.
So you're rolling 1d6 trying to get underneath your reflexes, David.
Okay, I've got a reflex of 9.
Yeah, you can't fail.
I can't fail. Tom, I have thrown you to the ground. I've literally rugby tackled you as you were ripping the page out. It finishes. I come and spear tackle you through the ribs and just take you halfway across the room. Go, you do what to the book? And I try and nibble on your ear as I'm doing it. Like your ear just kind of goes into my mouth. And then we'll decide how I do the eating.
We'll call that right.
His ear is smaller than my head. Therefore,
his ear is smaller than his head. We'll call that a snack, which is going to give you 1 hit point back. And this is you can do as much as you like on your thing, and you already succeeded on that. However, the stuffing into your mouth is a second thing. So, because you...
The second action, yes.
So it's 2 actions. So what we're going to do here is, the first thing we're going to do is your reflexes roll. So you're rolling 2d6 now to try and roll and grapple to the ground because you're doing 2 actions. So that's the first one. So you're looking for 2d6, 1 for Lorg's agility, a second one because you're doing a second action in your turn.
Oh, so this is so...
Because the wrestle lets you grab him, but you then try to stuff him in your mouth as well.
After a successful wrestle, I then try and do this.
Yeah,
They are
that's on
separate.
that's on a separate turn as well. It's noted as, I believe. Is that correct? Let me check.
And so, after a successful wrestling takedown of anything that is least smaller than your head, you can spend 1 action to stuff it into your
Yeah.
mouth.
So it would cost you a second action, which would be 2 actions this turn, which would increase the difficulty proportionately.
Also, it
for
increases the
all
difficulty.
of
So I
them.
still need to. So I basically need to roll under 9 on 2 dice.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a 3.
That will do it. So, okay, let's just bring up some fun things.
Is there a deafness rule in this? Because Lorg now only has 1 ear.
I mean, his ear is so you've hit. You have. Oh, I know exactly what happens here. You've hit. You have wrestled and grappled, and you and Lord go tumbling over the floor. And there's this loud. In fact, let's get this right. Let's see if my noise.
Kind of picked it up here.
Damn it. Okay, 1 second. No.
No, it was better the first time.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
I think
There
I've
is
got certain
sound-
filters that are probably kicking it out.
Yeah, it's probably Zoom or OBS or something. There's a loud tearing noise as the book that Lorg had begun to tear, you tackling, has fully torn that page clean out the book. That page
Oopsie.
is now fluttering away in the pleasant warm air. However, you don't notice this because instead you are more focused on the extra delicious log, which you have just stuffed a part of into your mouth. Now, Lord, I do believe you have the bogey that you taste really good, don't you?
I think all kobolds have this.
We'll go over that tastes like coke. To make me a 1 die ego roll. Because Lorg is wounded.
Who does to do this?
David does.
Oh, I do.
Dave,
Tuna. I just gonna call him Tuna.
Tuna. Yeah, Tuna has to do this. So it's a 1 dice ego roll.
I can't fail. I've got ego of 7.
That's fine then. Okay. Right, Lorg, you have been thrown to the ground. The page that you were so diligently removing from the book has gone, just completely out your hand, and your ear has been torn off. So I'm gonna give you a bogey, which is you are now hard of hearing, which means that you're gonna have a 1 dice penalty to any hearing related task because you are missing an ear.
And as I'm kind of chewing on the ear, I'm also trying to shout down the ear as well at the same time. So, you do not touch the book! You do not rip things out of the book! It is a sacred book! Are you nom nom? This is really nice. Nom nom nom.
Tuna,
You're tasty.
Make
And I
me a
start
look
licking
roll.
his head.
Make me a log roll, please.
Yeah, Tuna, make me a look roll.
Look roll. Oh, God.
Mhm.
How many dice?
So, you said you were screaming, so we're going to give you 2 dice.
I can still pass this. There is a possibility.
Yeah,
Not a very
it's a
high
mathematical
possibility.
chance.
I don't. I roll a 9, and I've got
Okay.
a luck of 2.
Yeah. Chocolate is a good thing to have with this game. You're screaming. Good.
Yeah, there was nothing else I really wanted to do with it other
Yeah.
than scream.
Lorg, however, it's your turn. What are you doing?
Um, Mm, I'm still being eaten.
No, your ear was being eaten.
Your face is
So-
being licked. I'm licking up the juices.
Delicious
Then
ear juices.
I gonna try to shove you away,
Mhm.
and I tell you that wasn't necessary. If we don't do this, we might not have any circuit people left for the book. So I remember something about grave danger, I guess.
Okay. So you're trying to get away.
Yes.
You're trying to push
Yes.
him away.
Yes.
And then you're trying to convince him to stop eating you and start paying attention.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So that's gonna be 3 actions.
Yeah.
So to push David's character away, it's your brawn versus his agility. So Tuna, what's your agility? 3. So that's 3 dice. Then we've got the convincing, which means it's your ego versus Tuna's cunning. So Tuna, what is your cunning? 2. Okay, so we'll do the reflex. We'll do the brawn roll first. So your brawn, what is a what? You failed.
12.
12. You got a 12. Yeah, you're stuck underneath Tuna, who, despite being a surprisingly scrawny creature, is pinning your arms to your body. Must be all that hemp rope. However, you are still trying to convince someone, so that is going to be a cunning. It's going to be an ego versus the cunning roll. So, what's your cunning there, Tuna?
It is 2.
2.
And I've also
So
just noticed. I've used. I'm just reading Sage. Sorry. I have used Sage once, which is when we had the piss take of the yes and no. All players are meant to vote on the plausibility and the entertainment value of it. If people vote thumbs down, I take 2 checks. If people vote thumbs up, I only take 1 check.
Okay.
So
we'll let chat decide if there's people in chat. So that'll be the deciding vote. Because that'll give us 3 then, I believe.
Yeah. If there's anybody in the chat, this might take a little bit of time to come through, so we'll wait for that. Thumbs up if you think that me saying yes is a food type. Thumbs down if you didn't like that story.
Tuna, you can all Log, you can also tell me whether or not you think this is a good bit of the story. And I say that's a plus from you, it's a plus from me, so that's good. You only take 1 death check from that.
Yeah. Right.
Which you already did, because I made you roll for it already.
But it gives me another so there we go.
And then cunning, so 2 dice rolling underneath your ego, but you've done another action in the sense that's 3 dice rolling underneath your ego, Tom. 4, yeah. Tuna, Log is speaking sense. You should listen. Like, yeah, of course you had to get the recipe out of the book. How else would you do that?
I'm sated now. I've had my fill of food.
Yeah.
I've gone Norfolk. I've moved to Norfolk now. Good old boy, it's what happens when you have food.
Okay, I say, trying to lick my ear because I have troll blood.
Yeah. You can lick it and restore the wounds.
Like a cat.
But you're not getting your ear back because it's troll blood, so it just heals over smooth.
You see, it's a recipe. You put it into the pot and then you add all the ingredients and then you turn around the spoon. And then there will be a magical puff and the food is ready to go.
Oh, right.
Like in the Minecrafting business.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Oh, I see. Does it involve ears? Because I can fully recommend ears. They are quite tasty. Can you read?
No.
Do you know what's meant to be in this?
No.
Do you need help?
I think we need a baby.
That is more than likely. So let me have a look at this recipe and let me see what we need, because the larder's over there. I'm hoping it doesn't involve chicken, because I ate all the chicken. We've got 3 more ears left, so that's all right.
You ate all the chicken that was out. There's still the cold larder and the cupboards.
That is very true. So this recipe, it says
Need-
something about a birthday cake for King Torg. All hail
All
King
hail
Torg.
King Torg.
Or Hell King Torg. But oh no. You know the recipe came out. Where
Oh,
that recipe
shit.
has gone now, you do not know.
Ooh.
So do you have this piece of paper that the recipe was on? Look.
And Lorg, you look down at your empty hands pinned beneath your body.
I got a shield.
No. I want the piece of paper that
Oh.
you were trying to rip out of the sacred book. Do you have it?
Oh, I understand. I got a hammer. It's really useful.
No, you fucking idiot. You know you were at the book. That thing over there,
Yes.
that thing with all the little bits of leaves in it, which had the
Yes.
pretty pictures.
Yes.
Do you have the piece of the pretty picture page thing that you were like pulling at?
I had. And then I remembered that I've got a small shield and a hammer, which is really useful.
Not in this case, it's not, you fucking moron. Right.
And Tuna, you look around just in time to see the ever-burning cook pot with an ever-burning stock inside it, because you are cooks. Of course, your stock is always on the boil. Just in time to see a small shard of paper think beneath the surface.
I can catch it. I scream and run towards the fire.
I think we both turn and scrabble towards it as quickly as possible. I let you up, Log, as we just both run towards it.
I think I'm going up in flames.
I was gonna say, yeah, which flammable again?
Well, he's flammable and I'm covered in rope.
Yeah.
I've got a wick.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to need both of you to make me... who has the lowest agility? Sorry, who has the highest agility?
I have 3.
3? 1. So the difficulty here is going to be a difficulty 2. You're trying to get underneath your reflexes, both of you.
Got a 10. My
10.
reflexes
4.
are 9.
I actually made it.
So you both go scrabbling towards this burning cook pot, simmering away nicely. And this cook pot is like a troll's cook pot. It's massive. It feeds the entire cave. Normally there would be a cook, a head cook, as in he just cooks heads, a short order cook who cooks shorts. There would be a whole team of cooks and chefs and pongeurs and the whole 9 yards would be inside this room. This is the only time in anyone's life that there's been so few people inside the sacred kitchen at one time. And you know this intrinsically. And you're feeling really good about that because you can see their aprons held up or by little hooks on the walls, and you're paying really close attention to this tuna, so close attention that you fail to see that your rope is fizzing.
Oh, fuck.
Oh wait, it's not fizzing. It's hissing. Oh wait, it's not hissing. It's on fire. Oh, it's on fire. Oh, it's on fire. And you're on fire. What are you doing? You take 2 points of damage because you're on fire. Lorg, you are in just enough time to see the fact that Tuna is on fire to get away from the fire before you yourself would go up on fire because you made the reflexes roll.
Crispy tuna.
Oh yeah, I need an ego roll from you. Difficulty 1 dice.
Oh.
No, Lorg needs to make me an ego roll. Difficulty 1 dice.
Yeah, done. No problem.
Okay, that's fine then. You
Burn, burn,
do not want to
burn,
eat the
double
crispy tuna.
Burn, burn.
What are you doing though? You got your actions, you got your turns. What are people doing? Lord, you've just scrabbled away from the now on fire tuna. What are you doing? You go first.
I guess the recipe is gone.
Could still be there, but tuna is very much on fire right now.
I assume that Tuna would know what to do in such a situation because I'm getting lit on fire all the time. And
it's such a common occurrence.
yes, it's like, oh, well, since I'm already
Oh, so that's
committing
what
the
it looks like from
heresy,
the other side.
it's time to end the reign of this cruel god. I'm gonna defile the sacred kitchen and spew the boiling stock into the eternal fireplace to save the recipe. Wasn't there like a big soup pot?
Yeah, it's massive. I'm asking you what your brawn is.
Oh, my brawn! It's 7,
Okay.
and I'm brave.
Yeah, you know what, Log? I absolutely cannot argue that you are brave with this or stupid. As I said, this sacred pot is about the size that would match trolls. It feeds the entire cave. I'm going to need a 5 dice brawn check from you to attempt to tilt and push over this pot.
Someone's
on
falling
your
in the
own.
water.
Without falling in the pot, yes.
He's falling in the water. One for the older generation there, I feel that one. He's falling in the water.
I can offer you a 24 of a 7.
He's falling in the water. Fucking hell, what did you roll, Tom?
24. A 5, 2 6s, and a 2 for good measure.
Nice. Okay. So, how much HP are you currently on?
I think I lost one. I didn't got around to heal it.
You lost one. I let you lick your ear to heal it for a turn, so that's
Okay.
back up. So you're a bit at full HP. But one, you just failed a check, so that's a death check on your table. Tick that off, then roll 2 dice and try to get under 13.
We're gonna die on a 6. And it's an 8.
Oh, you dead.
I'm dead.
So here's what happens to Lorg in this moment, which Tuna, you see some of, which is in a moment of voristic honor, Lorg looks at this pot, looks at this sacred bit of recipe slowly that has sunk beneath the surface. It's at that stage where the paper is still intact, even though it's underneath liquid. So there's a moment. And in this moment, Lorg, please describe to me exactly how you end up killing yourself. Because it, 1, is very much your own intention to do this, and 2, very much goes badly to the point at which you are dying. And then we'll bring up your next character, who's going to come in to deal with the combination of the burning smell of tuna, because tuna smells bad and is now on fire. So that is not going to make that smell any better.
Great. Okay.
I have befouled this place by my burning.
I think Locke sees this in full clarity and says to himself, "It is time to kill one's religion and all that's sacred to make sure the survival of the tribe. And you can see the fire throwing dark shadows over his face. And he takes a deep breath and runs and runs and runs and then tries to tackle this giant pot. And for a second, the camera is on an angle in which the goblin looks very large and the pot a little bit smaller.
Kobold.
Yes, and then the angle shifts, and you see it's just a giant piece of cookingware, and the tiny kobold just jumps against it and slowly slides down on the exterior, and like an inch or two above the fire. He starts igniting and goes up in flames.
Log! You see this fiery arm reach out towards you, screaming your name.
So Tuna, you have taken 2 damage from being on fire. You have just watched Log, who I don't know if you're actually friends, but was certainly part of your delegation with the answer of deal with the wizard, combust and explode as and not inside the pot where his death could potentially have been useful because kobold tastes delicious. Oh no, on the outside of the pot, charring a kobold imprint of soot onto the side.
Has he fallen into the fire below?
Yeah.
All right. We'll do this, and then we'll take a break and come back and regenerate the character for Tom. Having seen Lorg catch fire many times, I am a little bit aware of how you put yourself out when you're on fire. So I see Lorg hit this and fall into the flames below the cook pot, and all I can smell is my own burning stench at this moment. So I kind of know, and I roll towards Lorg, trying to put out the fire as I roll towards Lorg. Mm-hmm. And as I get there, whether I'm still on fire or not, I don't really care. Because all I can now smell is freshly cooked kobold.
Yeah.
And I go, that's better than me. And I reach out, grab a crispy arm, snap it off, and start to eat it. Because barbecued kobold is a thing. And it's delicious.
Yeah.
Could do with some sauce, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is dry rub.
Dry rub with soot from the soot and a bit of iron.
So the actual putting out the flames is an entire turn to do. We know this because that's what Lorg's.
I've got a way to roll as well.
You do have a way to roll. So what I'll say is we'll have a reflexes roll difficulty of 2 dice to start, to put yourself out, and then we'll have a brawn difficulty of 2 dice because it's 2 actions to try and get as much log into your mouth before the flames take your
before
friend.
I reset myself on fire, you mean?
Or you reset yourself on fire, either or, yeah.
So my reflex was 9, but I rolled a 2.
Oh, nice. Okay, yep, so that's a success. So
my brawn is a 4, and I rolled a 5.
So that's a fail, which means you're going to take another horrible death check. So that's +1 and then roll.
Yeah. There's only one number that will allow me to survive this.
Okay, and what's that?
A 2.
Okay.
I need to roll a 2.
Roll me those 2d6.
No, I didn't. I rolled a 7.
There we go. So as you roll over to your friend who has just this the giant cook pot, you sort of begin reaching over and grabbing kobold and stuffing it in your mouth, and it's delicious. Hot juices pouring out of your friend, gushing into your mouth as you finish the job here. As you look up, it's a noise you've never heard before of to see the top of the pot tilting towards you, and the scalding broth contained within begins to pour out. As Log, in his act of religious experience, apparently knocked it off its axis. And now, well, you don't have much time to consider that, as the burning oils pour all over you, and you are teleported up to the very angry face of Vor, who promptly destroys your soul out of spite. And that's where we'll take our break for the night.
At least I'm not on fire anymore.
Oh no, you absolutely are.
Just in a very visceral, spiritual sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Inspired.
So we will take a 10-minute break or so. So if you are watching, grab yourselves a drink, some food, some more snacks. Our stats literally spell out beer. So beer is encouraged during this game.
Actively so.
So we will come back. Hopefully we might have some characters created and ready for when we come back.
We will.
If not, we'll do something when we get back. Anyway, we shall see you in about 10 minutes or so. Bye!
Bye.
And we're back. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. We have 2 new characters. Thank you very much. This is absolutely hilarious. I'm going to go to bed tonight with a really achy face, which is a good sign. It's a good sign.
It is. It doesn't matter what you're doing. As long as you go to bed with an achy face, you know you've succeeded in something.
There are a few things where it's probably you've not succeeded, which is being punched in the face repeatedly is not a good
You
way.
succeeded in getting beaten.
Awesome. Great.
Well, we didn't.
Hey, I
we
don't
succeeded
judge
in
what
getting
David
set
does
on
on
fire.
his weekends.
Right. Yeah, shall we begin? I'll pass back over to Ben.
Yeah, I think it's very obvious how we begin this, which is salmon and
Sob.
Sob. You were busy minding your own business, which in this case means hiding in a footlocker inside.
Very fearlessly.
Inside the, well, you were told to. You're expressly told to by King Torg, which means that death checks. One for each of you. I will teach you.
I was reading the rule book. I got a 7.
And you're fine.
10.
Does that add 1 into the total as well?
Yes, each time you get one, you add it to the total and it keeps going. So that's fine. You both survive, but you're both bravely hiding inside a footlocker in the barracks as you were told to make yourself scarce.
In the barracks?
In the barracks, yeah. This lasted until there was a tremendous, and I do mean tremendous, clang. It was so loud, it rang through the entire cave. Now, being the brave kobolds that you were, your first response was to stick your heads out to make sure that you were still alive. Which you were. Just in time to be seen by King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
I had my micro muted.
I did, however, see your face light up, Tom. So I will let it go this time because I can tell you said it. So, the look of like I must get this right, and then abject panic.
I will just say to the audience, due to work reasons, we're not allowed to put Tom's face on the screen. So we are actually seeing Tom's reactions to all this, and it's fucking brilliant.
Which up to and included in that situation, almost falling off his chair in a desperate attempt to unmute himself so he didn't take a death save.
You know, important rules are important.
They are.
I think it's the most important room in the important rule in the game.
It is so important. It is literally the first rule you see. It comes before any other rule in giant red words.
And it was the last rule you told us about.
And it was the last rule I told you about because it's the funniest one to say on camera. So you stuck your heads out to bravely make sure that you were still alive, right in time to be shanghaied by King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
All hail
King Torg.
Okay,
I'm gonna roll this.
I don't give you 2.
8.
Yeah, you're still alive, and now you're on 3, I want to say.
2.
2, okay. So you have been, literally, you stuck your heads out of the footlocker to see a pissed off looking king grab you by the scruffs of the neck, march you quickly towards the kitchens, and throw you in as a equally pissed off looking wizard in all black robes with 7 orcs with a Q stood around him, watching on as King Torg throws.
All hail King Torg.
David, that's a death check.
Just as I start eating you.
I know. Throws you into the most sacred of sacreds, the kitchen, which you get to see what has happened. Clearly, some idiots were responsible for desecrating the sacred kitchen, for the sacred cookpot has been knocked over entirely. The kitchen's floor is flooded with about a 1/4 inch of stock that is cooling rapidly. And the only thing you're told is, fix it! Get food! As King Torg
All hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
Throws you in and marches back off towards the den, a cloud of smoke puffing behind him and the other orcs and the tall-looking wizard. And that's all the context you're given.
Oh no! The wizard seems to have attacked the kitchen.
Smells like barbecue.
I think he killed Log.
Deserved it, always catching himself on fire. stupid fucking thing. It's a
Well,
bit like
you can't smell log, but you can definitely smell tuna.
No. Well, those two are always tuna and log were always fucking hanging around each other. Fucking useless, the pair of them.
Unbelievable. And they were so stupid. Unlike us.
Yeah, we're not stupid. I think
We're
I
not
think what
stupid.
we should do is I think you should get the mop out. You should mop this shit up and put it back into the tub. Not the tub, the cauldron. That's the word for it.
Yep. Hold on.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Or we could have.
We'll wait. We'll wait. We'll wait for you to stop laughing.
Everyone entertain themselves for the moment.
Yeah.
Or we could have a dance off with the wizard to make him mopping the floor. He would be so angry afterwards that he would have to leave.
No.
I am a bard, you know.
King Torg, all hail King Torg,
All hail King
told
Torg.
us
All hail King
told
Torg.
us to fix this. So therefore, you're fixing this. I'm going to bully Sod.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's your brawn, Sod. So what's your brawn?
Is
What's
7.
your meat?
7 and
Sorry, no. It's Sod's meat that you roll against, I believe. So 2 dice, and you've got to roll beneath your 7.
all the cunning for smarter creatures.
Oh, are you stronger?
So the
or
difficulty of the
smarter?
action is equal to the meat for strong, stupid creatures, or the cunning for smarter creatures.
So which of you is your cunning or brawn higher?
My cunning is higher.
So is that 3 dice?
Yes.
So that's 3 lowest.
So we need to roll 3 dice and below
Yep.
my
You need to roll
brawn,
3 dice and get below a 7.
which I do.
Okay.
I get exactly a 7.
There's something scary about salmon, and they're scary because they're totally naked, but you know for a fact that they are a lackey, and they're a lackey of Tabriz the Black, which means that you saying we should just get the wizard to leave is kind of like saying that thing that you kind of work for, we should get them to leave. And yeah, you are bullied. So yeah, it's apparently you should start mopping. So
I totally start mopping.
Yep.
And I'm feeling very afraid.
okay.
And
Oh, you're feeling very afraid.
no,
Just to confirm.
it's just something that's on my emotional horizon. But
Okay.
as a very fearless kobold, I start countermeasures. I am a bard. I start singing whilst mopping, and
Okay.
it starts pretty quiet, like, and it's grasping more confidence, and it's getting louder, and it is a very brilliant kobold song with amazing lyrics. The catch is that the counterverse, or whatever it's called in English, the refrain is like, all hail King Torg,
All hail King Torg.
and it repeats like every 10.5 seconds, and it's getting always louder. And I somehow totally forgot that nearby kobolds have to sing along the All Hail King Torg,
Oh, hell, King
All
Torg.
hail King Torg.
and it's starting to get an echo.
Okay, right. So I know for a fact that so far you have spent the past 2 hours drinking. So you're going to get 2 bonus die to this because that's the case. However, it's So you're
Drinking
going to
inside
capture...
the small little chest that we were hiding in.
Oh, I was talking about the player.
Oh, okay.
For every hour the audience has spent drinking, you get a bonus dice to the roll. Okay, so you're trying to keep and get all nearby kobolds' attentions. Right. So the highest cunning of anyone who's going to hear this... tell you what, Tom. How loud are you being?
I start very quiet and I end up very loud. I think that's bad for me, but hey,
Okay.
Let's go there.
There we go. Right. You are going to be telling a very believable lie because you're singing the honourable dirge of King Torg's birthday party. Ah, got you! That's one more roll on the table there, Sod. You didn't do it.
Yeah. 9, but I'm fine.
You're still alive, yeah. The good news of this is that the story of King Torg's birthday
All hail
party
King Torg.
All hail King Torg.
is that it also contains the recipe for King Torg's favourite meal.
All hail King Torg.
Didn't say king.
I did. But it's
Not that time you didn't.
It contains the Angry King's favourite meal, which potentially would appease him, given the fact that he told you to sort this mess out and cook. So, because you're being loud, however, the highest cunning of the creatures that could hear you would be Tabriz. And Tabriz's cunning is very, very high. Is very, very high. Because Tabriz is a wizard. Well, specifically, he's a warlock.
He's my boss.
He went to the goblins, to the kobolds, to carry away a treasure.
Because he's lazy. So he has he has an ego of 16.
I may have convinced him to come and hire us. I was looking to get away from you, you're too fucking annoying.
Yeah, so he has an ego of 16, which equates to a cunning of 4. So you're rolling 4 dice, and you need to get below your ego.
I love you too.
For every number below your ego you will get a kobold helper who comes out to help complete this, because clearly this is the king's birthday meal, and apparently it's the king's birthday again, but kobolds have no sense of time or numbers, so that's fine.
Except
so for every number you get below your target number, you'll get a kobold follower, and you'll get an ingredient of the king's favorite meal, because apparently the king's favorite meal has vanished from the book.
So, as it seems, I kill 4 kobolds, and I lose 4 ingredients.
Oh, did you get 4 points over?
With 4 freaking dice, yes!
Well, that's a death check. So it's you've gained another death record, so you should be on 4 now, I think, total.
Yeah.
Yep, and then make another roll.
I die on a 9. No, on a 10, sorry.
You die on a 10, yeah.
This time I'm rolling only 2 dice.
So the flaming acorn that comes through the doorway misses you just. And you hear from outside, you don't speak human, but this person is speaking with a human accent.
I'm speaking human.
Oh, you speak human. You speak human. So you understand this person's accent. Apparently they are not a native kobold speaker, but they are speaking kobold, which is, we're hungry and we're bored. And whatever you're doing sounds like 2 rats fucking a squirrel. Food, please. Less singing.
That's how my familiar died, he says, and Salmon is there stroking his dead rat. Try to fuck a squirrel. Never try to fuck a squirrel. They're mean bastards. Poor little Codrow here. He just did not stand a fucking chance.
So your song is interrupted by a flaming acorn that comes, flying towards your head. You have gained no help, but you have spent one turn mopping up this mess.
Yeah. Also, I spent a whole action on forgetting that I got a bonus of 2 for my drinking, but we're going with the story as it went.
They would give you additional dice bonuses.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's just so. What are you gonna do to help us, Mr. Magix?
The salmon's not. No, the acorn's not much use, is it?
I don't know.
Considering that it was on fire and is burnt up, no.
Can you fuck it? Then no.
I'll let you know later. And I pick it up and pocket it. Oh no, shit! I can't. I've got no pockets. Ah! I pick it up and it disappears somewhere.
It's even worse.
Not into the backpack. Well, what I'll do. So we got to do something for the boss, right? It's his birthday.
Yes. What?
Yeah, it's his birthday. Did you not fucking... Are you stupid? Did you not know this? It's his birthday. That's why we got to cook stuff. So what we need to do is go to the sacred text, find his favourite meal, because we know it's in the sacred text, always in the sacred text. Nothing ever happens to the sacred text. It's the sacred text. We find the meal, or that birthday cake thing that he likes, that is lots of sugar, and then we cook it. Nice and simple. Nothing can go wrong. We just make the cake.
Or we could listen to the bard who sang the recipe a minute ago.
No, all I heard from you was all hail King Torg.
All hail King Torg. It was in there somewhere.
Did he sing the recipe?
He did, but he also failed by 4 points.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah.
I killed kobolds in the process.
Yeah. So, somewhere there are 4 dead kobolds that Tabriz killed, thinking that they were the ones singing before he found you.
See, my ear still fucking hurt. I did not hear anything you were saying because it was horrible. I'm going to go and read the book to make sure that we get it right.
Great.
And I'm going to go and read the book and try and find...
Yeah.
I have Sage, so...
You have Sage, so you can read. You go over to the sacred text, which sits on a small plinth next to the sacred cauldron. And you can see the sacred text is sopping.
The book is soaked as well.
Soaked. There are pages missing. And you can see that they have scattered around the room and are set in a gelatinous layer of fat. I did say it was stock.
Stock has fat on it. Certain stocks have. You have to scoop the fat off the stock sometimes.
Stock is made by boiling down bones. If you get that cold, it sets with gelatinous fat. So the sacred text is everywhere. You can tell that there are pages missing other than the ones around the room because you're a sage and a lucky, you can count. And you can see that there are pages literally missing. So, yeah, you have a number of turns of work ahead of you. And you know that Tabriz does not like to be kept waiting. Specifically, if you're not cooking and bringing him something soon, there are other spells he can cast, like fireworks.
Sod, I think you're fucked.
I think you're fucked as well.
No. I'm fine. I'm the lackey. You're fucked. Right. Let's just make something. What have we got?
Well, you know that there are two locations within the kitchen. There is the cold stores and there are the cupboards.
Let's look through the cold store.
Okay, cold store. Roll me a d6, both of you. Tell me what you get.
A 4.
4. You find a cup of milk.
Awesome.
Do we not find 2 cups of milk? So we both roll 4.
Oh, you both roll 4s. Yeah. 2 cups of milk.
Right, so we can warm the milk up. Everyone likes a nice cup of warm milk before they go to bed. It settles them down. Right, what else have we got? Shall we go to a cupboard? Let's have a look in the cupboard.
Let's have a look in the cupboard.
Yep. Roll me 2d6.
I got a 2.
You find, you tell me your choice of fruit or vegetables, but you find 2 servings of it. And a 3, a small loaf of hard bread.
I will say we have some broccoli.
Broccoli. You've got broccoli, you've got milk, and you've got hard bread.
Right.
Bread soup.
Broccoli soup?
Bread soup?
Bread soup. Better than broccoli soup.
Yes.
Worth noting, everyone, who has the actual, who has the hands to hold this stuff?
I have a backpack, so everything I keep is in my backpack.
You're keeping your cup of milk in your backpack.
No, I'm keeping my dead rat in my backpack.
Oh, so you have
Therefore, I
hands
have
free.
2 hands.
Okay. Okay.
He actually said this before.
He did. I was just making sure.
I'm naked as well, so I've got nothing else. I've literally got a backpack and 2 hands.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have a whetstone and berries.
It's worth noting that this is just these are just like the first turns you spent raiding the cupboards. You can do this over multiple turns. However, every turn you do is a turn you're not cooking something. So that's as a heads up how we're going to be running this. Because obviously there's more in these things than milk, bread, and things. It's just how quickly you're grabbing stuff off the shelves and running back into the room with it.
Okay, great. I put down my whetstone.
Have we got the stock going again? Is the stock going? Or have you cleaned it all up and put it back?
The floor has got another totally clean. The pot is still on its side. The book is still damaged. The pages are still set in gelatine.
How about we do a nice cold starter while we get everything else warmed up?
This is a brilliant idea. I got some parchment in a wonderful jelly. We just have to sprinkle a little bit of, I don't know. I put down the whetstone, take the bread, hammer the bread, sprinkle the breadcrumbs over the book pages.
I like your thinking. Fucking, it's like bread and dripping is what the humans call it.
Yeah,
bread and dripping.
I see where this is going.
Maybe here's a thought. Just because we know that the sacred text is a bit fucked, so I don't know what happened here. It smells like Tuna's done something wrong. Maybe we just kind of remove the page so Kinglog, all hail Kinglog, does not see what's going on.
Did you just get King Torg's name wrong?
I fucking did.
Death check.
Also, Tom didn't say it.
Because it was wrong.
Yeah.
Also, I only got a 6, so that is fine. I needed an 8 to fail.
You do, however, get the thing. So here's how we're doing cooking, other people. So the base difficulty is going to be based on the protein. Currently, you do not have a protein, and you need one.
Gelatin?
I was going to say gelatin has proteins in it.
Oh, gelatin is a protein, isn't it? In this
It has proteins in it. It's not a protein itself.
Yeah. We're going by cooking, not chemistry. So no protein. Which anyone who comes at me and says that cooking is chemistry, I was both a chef and a molecular biologist / chemical food chemist. I know. Don't come at me. This is fantasy world.
I'm a chemist. I did a chemistry degree and an astrophysicist, and I love cooking and there is elements of chemistry in it.
There's massive amounts of chemistry. However, right now there's not, because this is
No, we're fucking kobolds. We've got no fucking clue about this shit.
So you need a protein. You've not got a protein in your thing. For each person that you're preparing for, and you know that there are 9 people potentially that you need to cook for, because there are 7 orcs with queues, Tabriz and King Torg.
All hail King
All hail
Torg.
King Torg. Each time you say that, I just imagine orcs with snooker cues.
I'm sure one of them does. So for each person that you're serving for, you increase the difficulty by 1 die. We increase the difficulty by 1 die for each unusual ingredient you're using. So that's going to be 1 because you're using parchment.
No, I said remove the parchment.
That wasn't what Sod started saying. So we're on 1 at the moment, 1 difficulty at the moment, just from that. We reduce the difficulty by 1 die for every 2 turns you're spending cooking this thing. We're going to add a penalty die if you want to choose the effects rather than roll for the outcome of the meal. If you have any items or skills that may affect the difficulty, let me know. And finally, if you, the player, have real food or drink to share with me, you can get a bonus dice. So anyone that wants to send me a takeaway can do so for bonus dice. So yeah, that's how we're running cooking. That is the cooking rules from the thing. Additionally, however, because we are using this adventure specifically, the difficulty of cook rolls in the Kobold kitchens is different. It's equal to the number of unique ingredients. But the more satisfying the food will be. So the more ingredients you add in, the more satisfying it is. That's it.
Okay. I'm using my very useful hammer.
Doesn't help cooking.
It is useful. And I said I'm going to crush the bread.
If you were preparing ribs or any other large animal, I would allow a hammer to be useful.
He's making breadcrumbs.
Yes.
Roll me. You know what? You know what? Sure, I'll allow it. However, you're using Kobold-like thinking. I can't even give you that one. Never mind. Yeah, fine. Your difficulty here is 3. You're making a starter roll. And the target number is coming off your... Where's cook?
Whatever it is.
Extraneous. So 3 dice getting underneath your extraneous.
Who's cooking? I will say Sod is cooking.
I say Sod is cooking at the moment. You still have your turn. So this is Sod's turn to cook.
I'm telling Sod what to do. Because I'm the
That's
bully.
why we fail.
Okay.
Don't hit it like that!
So, Salmon, you look at what is quite literally Sod with a hammer pounding bread into the floor and the gelatinous layer there. And what Sod is actually doing is mashing gelatine and breadcrumbs into one of the pages of the Holy Book.
Fucking told you to get rid of the fucking paper.
So yeah, you know that's inedible.
Right, new plan. New fucking plan. I'm going back to the larder.
Make a plan first.
I'm going to go back and fucking
going back
look
to
for
the
some
larder?
more food.
Okay.
Into the cold store.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a D6?
Yep, roll a D6.
A 1.
A 1. You find fillet of sole, and attached to the ankle of this is Jim's, as you find a fat human foot.
I was wondering where it was going with soul then.
That's enough for 1 serving.
Right. Sod, I've got some meat. It's not baby, but it's close enough. It's close enough. It's going to be a little bit bony and a little bit there's going to be a few tendons in it, but it's protein. Let's get this on and let's get it Shall we barbecue? I've got this hankering for fucking barbecue, and I don't know why. There's something about the
other thing
smell
that
in the
you
air. It's
know-
making me what?
Is that there is no fire currently lit in here
Fuck's sake!
because it was extinguished by.
Where's Log if you
box.
need him? You just have to put him close to anything.
Thanks for the chat. It is not baby. It is aged baby.
Unfortunately, chat, as with most things, it's aged to a point and then it just becomes gross. This is on the turn of gross. It's no longer baby, it's aged.
It's aged in both senses as well. So it's aged because it's getting to an adult and it's been around for a while and there's a bit of a hum.
It has, yeah. So you've gone to the cold larder this turn. You've grabbed one thing. You've still got a action this turn. What is your action this turn? In terms of things that you need to get done to sort the kitchen out, you need one more turn of mopping. The pages are still within the gelatine. The fire is out. The cook pot is tilted. The book is damaged. They are the things that are still going. So you've got an action this turn, or you can try and do multiple things this turn because you're a small, nippy little kobold and the laws of physics don't really matter to you.
I am going to grab Sod if possible.
Okay.
And get him to help me push
Helping
the pot.
is a thing kobolds can do. For every
push the
kobold you have
pot
helping you.
upright.
Okay, for every kobold you have helping you, you get one bonus dice off the difficulty. So the difficulty of this is 5, I said earlier.
Yep.
So that's going to be 4, and you're rolling underneath your brawn.
Basically, just trying to reset everything so we can actually start a fire under it, because I don't want to start a fire under the thing that's going to tip over the top of us.
Oh, yeah. So respect that.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh, wow! That is a really good roll, but it still fails. Only fails by 1, then it fails.
Ooh.
I get a
I'll tell you
3,
what.
I get a 1, a 2, a 2, and a 3. Excuse me, 8.
Oh.
And my brawn is
It's 7.
7.
Okay, here's what we'll do here. I will give you the option of succeeding, failing forward, or failing safely. Your choice.
Fail forward?
Okay,
Fail forward?
failing forward.
They don't want
So-
to fail safely.
Okay, so you immediately run over, you're like, Sod, help, lift, go. And you start to lift and lift and lift and lift, and your tiny kobold arms are lifting and straining and lifting and straining, and something pops in your back, and you're pretty sure your nerve is never going to be the same. You're going to take a... I'm going to roll a d6. I'm going to roll a d6.
Shit, don't roll a d6. That's a bad idea.
You're going to take 2 points of damage as you pull something unpleasant in your back. However, in doing so, you do get that surge of kobold sacrificial adrenaline, and like a human pushing a pack of hungry kobolds off her baby, you push the cookpot back upright. The cookpot is now upright. That's your action. That's your turn this turn.
Oh, bugger me, Sod. That was fucking heavy. I'm going to have a lie down. You're going to have to finish the mopping up. And I go and lie down.
So we've got one round. Next round. So as always, you can go to either the cold larder or the cupboards to get ingredients, and then you have your actions. What are you people doing this turn? Let's go again with Sod first.
I gonna mop. I
You're
gonna
mopping up.
extremely mop.
Are you doing anything else other than mopping this turn?
Since I'm so well handling the book, I gonna free the gelatinous pages afterwards.
You're freeing. So I'm going to make that reflexes difficulty 2. Just mopping is easy, and getting pages out of gelatine is slightly harder because you try and do both at the same time. Hey! So, as part of mopping, you're mopping gelatine off pages. The pages are clear of this now. They're not great. They probably need to dry out a little bit away from the fire, but They're clear, and the floor no longer has stock all over it. Are you going to either the cold larder, or the cupboard this turn to search more ingredients to go with your foot?
Me or Sod?
Both of you can do this once. Both of you can go to one of these around, i.e. you can both go to the cold larder, you can both go to the cupboards, but you can only do one in a turn. That's how we're going to run this, because we're running a little bit out of time. So
can we split it one in each?
You could easily do one in each. Yeah, it's a free thing to do each round.
You found the foot last time. Go back to the cold larder.
Okay,
I'll go to the cold. You go to the cupboard.
Okay, roll me a d6 then, Sod. 5. A hunk of stinky cheese person. 1 serving of malodorous cheese that contains random body parts. Is that an ear? It does, however, count as meat for dietary purposes.
What?
Does it look like kobold? Is it the other?
No,
ear? Is it the other ear of a?
It says cheese person, so this is definitely this is orc with a C ear.
Okay, great.
So that's your turn, and then Salmon.
I am going to, in my infinite wisdom, take a seat and lick my wounds because I have troll blood.
Okay, so you're taking the entire turn to heal rather than
I'm going to attempt to lick my back.
It
hurts.
Yeah.
And as I attempt to lick my back, something and bend backwards, something goes pop. And
Yeah,
it kind of
something
comes
goes pop
back in.
elsewhere. Okay, so you can still go to the cold larder or the cupboard's turn. Are you doing so?
I will go to the cold larder.
Yep, roll me a d6.
Yoink! I get a 1.
You find
Another foot?
Jim's other foot.
Here, Sod, I've got a pair.
Yeah, matchy
You
set.
got-
And
you
they just
found
come out and
pairs.
go. "Dudum, budum, 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 budum."
So this is 2 turns. You're starting to get to the stage now where you've not sent anything out, and you know Tabriz is going to begin to get angry. So just keeping you abreast. There are things left to do in this kitchen yet. There are
You've
things.
got to fucking cook the thing.
Yeah, you got to cook yet for stuff. You currently have potentially 3 total servings of something, which isn't enough to feed everyone, and you only have 2 raw ingredients at the moment that you haven't tried to cook. Oh no, you've also got the milk, so you've got 3 ingredients so far that you've not tried to cook.
You've
So
got 2
at the
feet,
top
cheese, and milk.
of 4 then. 4 ingredients. Yeah. Yeah, foot counts as meat, but the cheese does still count as a separate raw ingredient.
Okay.
So,
sorry, yeah.
Going back to Sod, top of the round again, what are you doing?
Start the fire.
I'm gonna go to the cupboard.
Okay,
One
you
last
went to
time.
the cupboard. Well, the cupboard you can do at any point in your round. What's your action this round?
My action is probably starting the fire again.
Starting the fire. Okay, yep, that's fine. So that's going to be it's going to be extraneous difficulty. Are you doing anything else in this round? Because you're running out of time.
You start the fire, and I will do the cooking.
Yeah, and after I started the fire, what is left to do?
You could help. Salmon.
I'm totally gonna help.
Help me with the
help,
cooking, because
help,
my
help.
extraneous is
Yeah.
shit.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be, I'm going to say that's a difficulty of 2. And then you can roll me a d6 for your scrounging in the cupboards as well.
What? Extraneous?
Yeah.
I just passed.
There we are. Excellent. So yeah, fire. Kobolds are great at starting fires. It's part of the skill training. Because they're
Lod
twisted
was
fire
very
starters.
good at it.
Well, the twisted fire starters, and then a 5 inside the cupboards. That's another hunk of stinky cheese person. So not another ingredient, but another serving at least.
Great.
Okay, and then salmon.
I will as I quickly run out of the cold store, I will grab another ingredient
Okay.
and then start to cook.
You're cooking this then. Okay. Are you going to attempt to get any of the other kitchen staff here to help you? Or are you going to try and do this cooking all by yourself with the ingredients you have?
Well, Sod's going to help me.
Yes. That's a given.
There are other kitchen staff?
You could try and ask to find them. You know that all the kobolds are currently hiding. They're probably hiding in here somewhere.
I'm going to scream at them in a very bullying kind of manner.
Okay, right.
So as I leg it out of the cold store, I just grab something randomly off the shelf, go,
roll a
you
D6.
fuckers are all fucking hiding in here. You get your fucking faces out of those fucking holes and you fucking help before I eat you, you little pricks.
Okay, yeah. Roll me a D6 for the thing you're finding in the cold larder.
Rolled a fucking 4. I keep rolling 4s.
That's a cup of milk.
More milk! More milk!
So you're clearly blanching something in milk.
It's like that, like in the 80s when you'd cook fish in milk, but we're going to do it with feet.
Yeah, fillet of sole.
Fillet of sole with a nice grated cheese.
Yeah, cheese gratin.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. We're doing a fillet of sole gratin.
Yeah. If only you had the breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yes. If only we had the breadcrumbs. Somebody.
So, tell me how many of these ingredients you are using. Every ingredient that you use, or every individual ingredient, will make the dish better and more filling, but will increase the difficulty.
Is it ingredient or is it group?
It's ingredient. So you could use one ingredient, but 3 of it, and make something that would serve 3 people. But it would only be difficulty 1. In this case, though, if I'm remembering this correctly, you've now got 3 milk, 2 cheese, 2 human foot, and that's everything, I believe.
That's it, yeah. You think?
Oh no, you've got veg.
You've got broccoli.
Broccoli. So you've got broccoli, feet, cheese, and milk. So a total of is that everything? I'm not forgetting something there. No, yeah, that's everything.
We had bread, but the bread.
You had bread, but you broke bread.
Yeah. We are in the sanctuary.
Yes.
We always have to break bread in the sanctuary.
You do have to break bread in the sanctuary. So you've got 4 potential ingredients, which will make this difficulty 4, because you're in the thing. However, you've got enough servings using both the feet, all the milk, that's 5.
2 cheese.
2 cheese, but the cheese only counts as 1, so that's 7. But with the veg, that would be 9, which would be the total amount you need. But you would be risking it all on 1 dish.
So we need 4 dice and 9 and less.
Difficulty 4, trying to get underneath your extraneous, but if you succeed, you'll serve 9 people.
But so we have a difficulty 4, but I have Sod helping me.
You have Sod helping you, which is 3.
And I did try and bully people, so do I need to roll my bully?
Difficulty 4, because you're doing a second
action, won't it?
But you could get multiple kobolds to come help you. So it's whether or not you want to make that risk.
I'm going to make that risk because I want to try and bully people because I'm the bully.
Okay, yeah.
So let me just remind myself how to bully.
I'm gonna sing a helpful song to you.
That would
add another difficulty to it.
It would add a different.
Yeah. I know. I'm just very helpful at barding.
Do remember, you can cook this over multiple turns. You're doing this right now fast because you're trying to get it out this turn. If you spent an additional turn cooking, that would lower the difficulty by a dice. And also, you wouldn't have to necessarily do everything this turn. It's whether or not you want to risk it that Tabriz will wait that long.
It's 10 o'clock. I think we're just going. I'm happy to just whiz through this and either fail insanely badly, and we all just end up as food, or we make an amazing fillet of sole gratin.
Yeah.
with broccoli.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bully. So the difficulty of the action is equal to the meat or the cunning of the intended victims, or decided by the mayor.
I'm going to go for a difficulty of 3.
So 3, and I need to roll less than my brawn.
And for every point underneath your brawn, you're going to get an additional kobold that will come out to help you.
Ooh. I rolled a 3.
How
So
many
that is
points does that make your
4.
brawn?
That's
4
a difference
points.
of 4.
So that's going to be 4 kobolds. As you scream this, you just see like a couple of kobolds that's like poke out of various holes and like, oh god, it's salmon! Everyone, get out of here, quick! And just like 4 kobolds just begin to rush into the room to help you. They won't necessarily be able to help you this round, but they will be able to help you if you decide to cook for multiple rounds and maybe go for a bigger, better dish. Just because you have summoned them, they're there, but you're also starting to cook this round. So you can cook and serve, or you can cook and then next term have a lower difficulty roll as well.
We'll cook, and then we'll cook and serve, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
now
So
that
then-
we have the kobolds,
Yeah.
we shall use
So
them.
your difficulty then is 4. You need to get below your extraneous. Or you
This
can try and
is
sell
not-
me. You can try and sell me weird and wonderful things here.
In fact, I'm panicking because I know my lord. That I know the magician wizard is not a patient person.
You could not start cooking this turn, and start cooking next turn, and just try to rush it out with the help of the other staff, risking it on whether or not Tabriz will wait.
No, I don't think Tabriz will wait. I know him too well. I have my
could
bullying.
go and entertain
My
him.
bullying has come from him bullying me. It's that kind of pass
Trickle
it
down
down.
economics of bullying.
Yes. So that is 6.
Mhm.
That's another 6,
That's 12.
and that's a 1.
That's 13.
Yeah, and I have
How
an
much did you
extraneous of
fa-
6.
So that's a failure of 7.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a cook.
here's how we're gonna do this. Salmon.
Who? What?
How
eh?
desperate are you to succeed at this turn?
I would. I'll say I'm very desperate.
Okay. For every point of damage you take, you can reduce this by 1. The failure points. For every roll on the horrible death record you make, including a check, each time you do this, you can reduce this by another 1. And if
So I need
remember
to
correctly,
reduce this by
by
7. And our hit points are our brawn.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do some maths here.
I believe your hit points are your brawn. Let me just check that. It might be equal to your meat plus something or something daft like that. Starting hits. Hits are equal to your brawn plus any other edges or outfits you have.
So it's equal to my brawn.
Yep.
Okay. So that means I have 7 hit points. I have taken 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4, but I licked my back because that's
You
a thing
did?
apparently kobolds can do.
It is.
So I have 5 wounds I could take before I die. So if I take 4,
Yep.
I could lose 4 off 13.
Yep. Which you'd be 3 over. Additionally, you can heal by eating servings of the food.
I could do, but that would be intelligent. And
Or
also
not.
reduce the amount of food created, and therefore leave me
It
with an
would.
angry orc with a Q.
And he would break the queue. and pull it over your head.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take 4 wound,
Okay.
4 damage.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. And now I need to get another rid of 3, which gives me 3.
3 checks.
3
and 3
checks.
rolls.
So I take
So-
I take the check, then do the roll, take the check,
Yeah.
then do the roll.
Exactly so.
Cool. Right, so check number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Marked down. I need to roll an 8.
Okay.
I roll an 8.
So you're still alive.
Check number 2.
Now looking for a 7.
I need a 7. I roll a 5.
You're still alive. Check number 3.
I need a 6. Watch me roll a double 6 now.
I was about to say 12.
No! Summon!
It's not as bad as a 12, but it is a 10.
No!
But
yeah, go on.
I did do all 3 of them, which allows
did
me
do
to
all 3.
drop the success down to the success of the cook.
It does. And you know exactly how this is going to succeed, don't you?
What, me falling into the cook pot?
Not falling. Oh, no. You're leaning over it with 4 kobolds behind you who are noticing that this thing is not looking right. And Sod, you see them look at each other, look at you, look at Salmon's back, and then just kick the stair that leads up to the cook pot that he's stirring in. And you wobble and you fall, and then they just slam the lid on.
To be fair, I probably deserved it.
You would have done it as well.
I would have done the same.
If it was anyone else up that ladder, they'd be in the pot right now.
And
Wonderful.
you hear this vague, "Damn you! I would have done the same." And then you get this wonderful smell of boiling
Yeah.
kobold meat.
Boiling kobold meat, mixing and adding a richness to Jim's soul.
However,
You did
there is
succeed.
also a small smell of something really rancid because I still have my dead rat with me.
Thank you for reminding me of the rat. Sod, I'm going to need you to make me a luck roll.
How many dice?
It was the last one that killed Salmon, so we're going to say difficulty 1. Quick thinking, you just grab something out of the cupboard. What do you think in this moment you would grab out of the cupboard that would save the flavor of this dish?
We have milk, cheese.
The obvious answer is something spiced or paprika or something that's going to add a depth to it.
Yeah, we're going back to the sacred chilies.
Sacred chilies, yeah. So just grab a sacred chili off the thing, plunge it in, and now you've got a blue cheese sauce because that rancidness has just turned the cheese into blue cheese. That's bacteria instantly cooking. You've got Soul of Jim and Kobold and blue cheese sauce.
Should have got some more bread to make the crispy coating.
Yeah, I would have also allowed bread. That also would have been a success for me. Okay, right.
Great. So
Sod.
we're gonna serve this.
Yeah. Tabriz gently puffs on his pipe while the other orcs with a queue, crude, hand-rolled cigars also sit around this long table looking at King Torg.
All hail
All
King
hail King
Torg.
Torg.
Thank you. As the room gets hazier and hazier, you can just see the hulking forms of the orcs with the queue, the glint of the eyes of the cunning master of the magics, Tabriz the Black, the rotund frame of King Torg and his throne. That's a death
All
check
hail
for
King
both of you.
Torg.
I'm already dead.
Yeah, your next character's going to have one.
Join us next time for my first death check before I even do anything.
Yeah. As you begin to plate up and eat, you can watch them all. And I need you to make me a 4 dice ego roll, please.
Go ahead there, Sod, because I'm being eaten at this precise moment in time.
4 dice ego.
Yep.
I have a winning smile.
That actually does do something, doesn't it? I think that lowers the difficulty when dealing with threatening people. Winning smile.
Why have you not been using this all fucking game?
As long as you're smiling, humans will not attack you until you do something out and out wrong.
Great.
So, 4 dice ego check.
Yeah, went horribly.
Good. So you plate up for Tabriz, you plate up for King Torg, you plate up death check.
I don't care. Are you now dead, Tom?
I'm still alive for the
Yeah.
next 3 seconds.
You're plating up for the orcs, one after the other, after the other, after the other. You get to the last orc. You scoop from your pot, begin to pour. The orc looks at the dish, looks at you, and just goes, "Wait a minute.
I'm smelly.
Is that milk?" Are you trying to poison me? Did you not know that I have a deathly allergy to milk?
As he says that, in the soup, you see the remains of a salmon form a sentence like alphabetic spaghetti, and it says "All hail King Torg."
All hail King Torg.
As the last of his magic tries to seep into the orc to kill him.
And we'll end there, as the angry orc is holding you by the hand, having just tried to poison them. Because, of course, you should have known that each of the orcs has a different allergy. Orc number 1 being allergic to shellfish, orc number 2 eggs, orc number 3 gluten, orc number 4 milk, orc number 5 mustard, orc number 6 beer, and orc number 7 non-Euclidean food.
What? There's a non-Euclidean food option?
Yeah.
Amazing. I would love to see you hit it with a hammer, Sod.
And on that bombshell, with Sod being held by his wrist, presumably about to be brutally murdered by a very pissed off orc, that is where we will end tonight's session of Kobolds Ate My Baby. Thank you all very much for joining us and playing along.
Thank you so much for running that. That was fucking insane.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've had that much comedy in a game for a very long time. I'm not quite sure what to say. Tom, how do you feel? Let's go into World of Darkness Vampire. How do you feel, Tom?
Well, as I sit here and brood, the deepest, I don't know. I'm not English.
Exactly.
Things in my chest cavity.
You've made a friend. An orc is holding your hand. That's that.
An orc is holding your hand.
Yes. And in the end, the food is all the friends we made on the way, right?
Yes. The food is the friend that we made along the way.
Yeah.
It is made from the friends we met along the way.
I wouldn't really call Salmon a friend. The others were friends?
Probably.
Yeah.
Dear
Oh,
me.
fucking brilliant. Yeah, so let's just do a quick roundup of everything and let everyone get off. So, Ben, who are you? Where can people find you and all that kind of malarkey that we
Hello,
usually do?
everyone. I am Ben. You can find me at the Polyhedral Himbo on Twitch. You can find me on Twitter at Watch Aitken, which is Alpha Indigo Tango Kilo Echo November. I appear. Go on, David.
I was going to say, it's above your head.
It's also above my head. I appear on most of the Drunken Storytellers shows as cast and crew and various impromptu running of games when things fall through. I'm also a professional writer, so you can hire me to write things for you. And currently I'm working on several projects that I'm not allowed to talk about, and one that I will be allowed to talk about once it's released, but who knows when that'll happen. And that's me.
Cool. Next, we have our bodiless voice in the void. Who are you, Mr. Bodiless Voice?
I am Tom Murr. I am not doing a lot in this month because it is Hell Month, for me at least. After that, I hope to be producing some more shows on my own and run some more games, and will be a storyteller again. Finally,
We hope
you don't
so.
know how this is feeling. They told me, "Hey, come play for once," and now I'm here sitting in the player chair for month and month and month to come, and I need my crown back.
I'm not going to give it you. No, it's
Yes.
good to actually finally get you playing some games rather than running them, so that's really cool. But hopefully soon Tom will be back running some games. You've got some plan. We've got some planned actually on here with you.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about those or not yet, or shall we leave that for later?
Let's announce them as we found the dates for them.
Cool.
I think that is the safer option.
Good call.
So same with Ben. We've got something really special.
We've got something magical planned, but it's gonna. That's an announcement for later in the year when it's all official and
Yes.
The dice have settled.
I don't think anything's going to settle with that game when it comes out, mind you.
I came into tonight going, I really struggle to run comedy games. I'm not sure how this is going to come off. I've only run Kobolds Ate My Baby before whilst very drunk. Well, we're just going to,
We're going to vibe off this, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm
been in a lot worse way.
Yeah, well, a lot of that was improv, so I'm happy for how that's going to come off for the next thing.
Cool. Yeah, so we've got Ben is going to run a mini campaign for us of something. Tom is going to run something for us soon.
Yeah.
We've got other things coming up, and I see the message already in the chat saying Alien, and guess what? The theory is, as long as life is not a bastard, like it tends to be at this current moment in time, and January is very much a hell month, we have part 4, touch wood, happening on Saturday. So join us at around 8 p.m. on Saturday for part 4 of Alien Destroyer of Worlds, where things will only go worse. Tom, Mark, James, and hopefully Fiona will be joining us again as we delve further into the shitstorm that is about to kick off. So if you think things are bad now, Tom, you just wait.
I'm gonna mason the show.
Yeah, you're gonna shoot things in the head.
Is it if you scream out "All hail the alien queen"? Do you get to survive a scene?
No. No, you become a host because you hail the queen, so therefore you open yourself up to being a host.
Yeah.
Because
it's Gene Stealer cult's rules. I get it.
Yeah, you either volunteer to be a host or are forced to be a host. We have, in theory, next Friday. We are not going to be running a game next Friday, but we're going to have a few people on, and we're going to have a talk over the plans for the future of the stream and what we want to do with it. And then we do have some other people on board now who are looking to run other games, so we will have some more stuff. There's some Goblin Quest hopefully coming up soon. we'll be going back into our Vampire the Masquerade Cyberpunk game, because that went a bit weird. It was always meant to go weird, so that was always cool. What else have we got? Have we got anything else planned? Nothing officially planned, but we still have other things in the works. I know Rob wants to run some stuff, and as much as this was meant to be the One Ring, we will go back and we will go and look at the One Ring, and we will do the starter set and run that through, because it is a brilliant system, and the starter set scenarios are absolutely fantastic and absolutely brilliant, and they do really kind of grab hold of the essence of what The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings are, and they kind of give you that story. So we will be doing that soon as well. Also, I'm currently on a hiatus. I'm having a break between seasons on the podcast, whilst I do other things and learn about how to pass a thesis and stuff, but that should be starting up again probably in February, so the Folklore podcast will be starting up again in February. Other than that, I think that's it. So, thank you, Ben, so much for running this on literally like 2 hours of notice or something like that. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Really enjoyed that. So
Always happy to help, you know that.
yeah, I hope everybody else enjoyed it as much as we did, and we shall see you soon. So goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
All